Okay, hey, this is Roman from Inner Strength with a video on how to modify your crescent lunge and your side angle pose. Now, before I get to that point in the video, it's short, it's only a couple minutes long, maybe 6 or 7 minutes long. I want to recap. I sent you over 2 videos. The first one on sun salutation A, the second on sun salutation B. Now, it's important to view those videos because I want to make sure that you know exactly how to safely and effectively move through the sun salutations. Now, the sun salutations are what we use to link the different phases of your yoga class together, and we do a fair amount of them. So I want to make sure that you have all the tools necessary to progress and to get stronger. Now, in the first video, I wanted you to remember 3 key points. Do you recall what they were? Yep, the first, there's 1,000 shades of gray between black and white, and gray is okay. It's not about perfecting the pose. It's just about connecting to it and making sure that they're safe. And making them safe is really not hard to do. The second is that a consistent approach is necessary. In other words, anything that we do in life, in any context, in order to reach the goal, we've got to be consistent. Now, along that journey, you may have to rest. Now, we rest in child's pose, or you might need to walk out of the room or put your arms down. And you need to know that it is absolutely okay to rest, and to rest when you need to. In the second video, I showed you how to modify your sun salutation B. Now, if you remember, the sun Bs have chair pose and warriors. And in the video, I showed you how to literally put your knees down and to move through every phase of the sun B. I encouraged you that by doing what we call modifying or scaling, you're not benefiting any less. In fact, you're probably benefiting more because you're giving your body the support it needs, and you're giving it the space it needs to get stronger through these crucial first parts of your yoga practice. Before we get to how to modify the crescent lunge and the side angle pose, I'd like to talk a little bit about breathing. Breathing is the single most important element. The postures are going to change, the sequence is going to shift, the teachers are going to be different, the weather is going to be changing, and there are many factors. The common denominator through all of those things that change is the breathing. A lot of times in class we like to say you can rest when you need to, you can come 10 minutes late, you can leave 10 minutes early, the only requirement is breathing. And we really want to hit that point home. Now, the sun salutations, they create the demand for the breath, thus stimulating it. When the movement stops, when the sun salutations stop essentially, and we get into these what we call the primary standing phase, or the standing poses like the crescent lunge, the breath is now ready to be shaped, lengthened, and deepened. And it's in these moments that there must be a calm determination cultivated. That's what the slow, long, and deep breathing is going to do for you. Now, by modifying the poses, by placing your knee down, using blocks, etc., we not only keep it safe and effective, but we are able to access the deep diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, you guys, so let's do this. Let's now switch over to the little crescent lunge video that I did with Lisa Samarawira, one of our teachers at Inner Strength. So, here you go. Now, when you step the right foot forward to get into crescent lunge, notice what Lisa just did was she pretended like she's having a difficult time. A lot of students actually do have a difficult time getting their foot up. So go ahead and grab it just like she showed you with your right hand and pull it up. Now take a look down the line there. You see her right foot is to the right, her left foot's to the left. That's going to give her a nice stable base. Now, what we recommend to help ground you down, give you more stability and solidity in the crescent lunge here, is to put your knee down and to flip the toe back. Now, the grounding of the back shin and the grounding of the back foot and the front foot is going to give you so much more of a base to raise on up. Now, her whole entire left side there, from the left thigh to the left hip, all the way up through the stomach, is a long, deep line of stretch. And you can see Lisa's front right knee there is perfectly stacked over the heel, and she's getting the beautiful stability that she needs. Now, we ask you to lean forward. Watch the way she does this. And by leaning forward, that gives you length from the tailbone to the back of the head. I just said something that made her laugh there. And then you go ahead and you twist. You turn the elbow off to the shelf of the knee. And there's that line from the bottom right heel. And here's a little sort of rear view. Look at how aligned she is. The right hip back, the left hip forward. Now, there's a little bit of a line there from the heel to the knee, from the knee to the elbow all the way up. And by keeping that line, what it's doing is it's transferring down into the abdominal region and helping her stretch. And here's the variation. Sometimes we say spread our wings. You put the bottom hand down, rest the other hand on the knee, and that helps give you a really nice stabilizing posture to help twist. And then you just breathe. Then you just hand it over to breath. Now, the next pose that we do in this sequence is called Warrior Two. So to get into Warrior Two, lift the knee, dial the back foot like a warrior, and then come on up. Now, Warrior Two acts to segue into what we call the side angle pose. Now, before we move into side angle, just take a look at her alignment. If you were to hang a plumb line down from her wrists, her feet are right underneath, or about right underneath, and that's a nice guideline to have. People ask, well, how wide should my feet be? That's a nice guideline. You take a quick look at your wrists, bring your feet underneath. Now, side angle pose, resting your right forearm on your thigh, helps to give you a nice level of alignment. Now here, what I did with the other camera is I showed what a lot of students do is they take their seat and they kind of stick it back, losing their balance. And all you got to do is you got to move your hips in towards the center line, like Lisa here is showing you guys how to do that. And once you move the hips towards the center line of the yoga mat, everything is all good. And then what we'll do is we'll put it away. Now, the next transition here is high push-up on your knees to help lower you down. Moving through to upward dog. We use upward dog in many of our transitions. Hinging and sending your hips straight up and back to downward dog. Now, same thing here on the other side. Grabbing your foot if you can't get it up there, placing it, stacking the knee over the front heel, descending the back knee, and up the arms go. Stable pose. It allows all the muscles of the right hip and quad and stomach to really open up. We lean forward to get length through the spine. That helps to twist. And there's that line again. The left heel to the knee, to the elbow, all the way up. The rear view here, you can see how beautifully aligned she is. Now, what the alignment is going to do is it's going to allow you to release more muscles. If you're out of alignment, guys, what happens? The muscles are overstressed, so they're not going to release. Here, she shows you the modification, putting one hand down, other hand on the knee to help the twist. And again, here's that transition, back knee lifts, dialing down the back foot and up to Warrior Number Two pose. Yeah, see how she's opening up her stance, checking in for a moment, checking her work, transitioning into side angle. Now, if you notice from her back foot all the way up to her fingertip, there's a line. That's why we call it side angle, because there's an angle with the side of the body. Once again, she's showing how sometimes a student presses her hips, his or her hips out of alignment, and to draw the hips into alignment, into the center line of the yoga mat. Simply breathing, simply allowing the heels to root. And as always, the pose is going to hit a crescendo. It's going to hit a swelling point, and then it's released. Using your knees to transition if you need them. It's always a good idea. Upward facing dog, a big stretch of the front line. Send your hips straight up and back to downward facing dog. Now, the last two postures in our sequence here, what we call the primary standing phase, is chair pose. And I want you guys to really focus here on how Lisa transitions. Watch how she does this. Turning her right elbow to the left knee. Now watch closely. The cue that I'm giving her is to turn her chin to her top shoulder, and then to take her right ear towards the windows. Look at that line. Look at how she moved right into it. Both of her hips, both of her feet are aligned. And then obviously we go to the second side, turning her left elbow across to the right knee. And here's that forward view again. I'm going to offer her the same cue. Take her chin, twist it up to the top right shoulder. There it goes. And to move her left ear towards the inside wall And it just, look at how she pulled herself into alignment. And then you release. And that's it. That's the primary standing phase. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you took some time to take some notes. And I want to thank you very much for allowing me to give you this gift. I know how important the practice of yoga is in people's lives, and it's our intention that these little videos are going to give you a little visual support to help educate, inspire, and empower you guys to come on to class. So once again, this is Roman from Inner Strength saying thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. All right, take care.